Hello everyone, my name is Zachary O'Shea, and this is Box of Teeth. Every October for the last few years, I've shared a homebrew Dungeons & Dragons monster with everyone, so that has not stopped. This is your October Monster Day for October 15th, 2023. Here in week 3, we're going to be going over unique knights that work for the Waning Princes. The Waning Princes being a family of dark fae that in turn control the Waning Court. They have a very nightmarish feel. They're alien and strange, have an autumn skinning to them. They cover the horror subgenres of folk horror, body horror, and cosmic horror. Each day we're going to go over a different named knight, partially to help folks maybe think about how to develop personalities of antagonists for their games, and I think it helps me flesh out how the Waning Court feels for folks just by the various personalities within it. The first one we're going to go over is Redleaf the Cheat, who is a knight of the Order of Torn Breath. The Order of Torn Breath follows the Prince of Wind, who we're going to get into a little bit while we're talking about Redleaf. As a quick summary, the Waning Knights, they're normally challenge rating 10. All the ones this week are challenge rating 11 because they're a little bit tougher than the average Waning Knight. They all have Aura of Arrogance, so if they're attacked but missed, the creature that missed them gains disadvantage on attacking them for the rest of the turn. They have Ephemeral Mien, so they are so haughty and otherworldly that they ignore difficult terrain, and once per day they can Misty Step, but afterwards they gain a 0 movement for the rest of that turn. They have Magic Resistance. They have the usual resistance of lightning, thunder, and attacks made with weapons that are not magical or silver. And they all have Prideful Stride, which is whenever they reduce a creature to 0 hit points, they can make the dash action as they basically stride around being jerks, because that's the kind of arrogance they have. Almost all of them have the Throne Shard Sword, which is a blade that's made directly from a shard of amber taken from the King under Amber's throne. So let's take a look at Redleaf the Cheat directly. Redleaf would have been perfectly content to spend his life as a bandit or a highwayman. Instead, he was born to a prestigious line of waning nobles within the Court of Gales. As such, he was duty-bound to join the Order of Torn Breath and serve the interests of Prince Whispering Wind. If only that particular archfey wasn't a blinking idiot, in Redleaf's opinion. While Redleaf does respect his lord's dedication to a common lover, as well as their naked avarice, the knight cannot wrap his mind around why the hell Prince Whispering Winds fills his coffers with ephemeria. There are only 2 things across the plains that Redleaf knows has value: coins and souls. Redleaf cannot collect the latter, but he certainly hoards the former. He values gold so much that his eyes, which normally the Waning Fae's eyes are completely black, they are instead completely gold and metallic, which matches his dark red kind of autumn leaf hair very well. Redleaf doesn't really dress that ostentatiously, for a Fae Knight anyway, which one might find rather odd, which how much gold he brings in, but he is a miser and a brute, so he loves stealing money. He hates spending it in equal measure. Let's go ahead and take a look at Redleaf the Cheat's statistics for Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition. He is a CR 11 creature, so he has a boatload of hit points and a really high armor class. He has saving throw bonuses and some good skills. I did already mention kind of all the other abilities that he has as a Fae Knight standard, but he has 2 really fun ones. He has a Fool and His Money, so whenever he successfully hits a target, he deals 1 additional thunder damage for every 100 gold pieces that target has on them. And he also has Cheater's Eye, so he knows exactly how much gold any creature around him within 30 feet has, even if they're invisible, but he can't pinpoint exactly where those invisible creatures are. What he does have expertise in gambling sets, even if he's never played the game before, he automatically understands the rules whenever he picks up the gaming implements. As a member of the Order of Torn Breath, he does have innate spellcasting for Gust, Gust of Wind, and Phantasmal Force. He also has Flensing Gale, which is a 30-foot cone of slashing damage that he can do. It's basically him summing up some cutting wind. All right, there we go. Our first night is out of the way. I look forward to sharing the other 6 with you this week. You can find all the monsters that I've made for every October, as well as hundreds of other horror-themed monsters for Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition, perfectly free at boxofteeth.blogspot.com. If you're interested in the other horror role-playing game projects that I have nothing to do with Dungeons & Dragons, or the horror fiction that I write, which is grease paint right there, right now, you can go to www.zacharyoshay.com. As always, I do appreciate your time and your attention, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of the day.